So I think I'm going to continue to an innocent proposal. One day in the imperial palace, while surrounded by shouting advisors waving decrees and edicts that demand your signature, a small man approaches, claiming to be a representative of the Venetoi, the Blues, one of the two major chariot teams racing in Constantinople. They no longer have the political influence they enjoyed in the days of Justinian the Great, but they are still popular with the broad masses. You wave your advisors away and decide to hear him out. The man introduces himself as Anaximandros and explains that he has a proposal for you. If you race for the Blues in the Grand Chariot race next week, he and his associates will make certain you win. You both stand to gain from this, with the glorious Basilius winning as a champion of the Great Blue Team. An intriguing proposal, count me in. By cheating, no thanks. Sure, we'll do it just because it's more if I remember what event chain this is, it's actually kind of fun. An alliance has been formed, but I'm going to try to let time pass by lowering my threat. Let duchies come about. Let my son become older. He actually became shrewd. He's shrewd and diligent. And he started with both positive things for diplomacy education. Probably going to be good. Also let vassals die off to replace them with more permanent titles rather than the viceroyalties. Practice makes perfect. You practice hard at chariot racing to better prepare for the upcoming event at the Hippodrome. Despite managing well enough and only falling off the chariot a handful of times, you simply cannot see how you are supposed to beat the other professional racers. When you mention this to Anaximandros, the little gnome of a man smiles and tells you not to worry. He assures you that the Greens, your main opponent, will not be a problem, and the other blue racers have been instructed to let you win. You had better be right about this, you tell Anaximandros. If I am made to look the fool, I swear I will not be the only one to suffer. Gain one marshal. Day of the race. It is a fine day for racing, and the Hippodrome is packed with people wanting to see the Basilius conquer or fail miserably in the attempt. Spiridon, the star of the Greens, looks at you with scorn as your chariots line up. I shall endeavor not to embarrass you too much, your Imperial Majesty, he says through clenched teeth. The trumpets blow and the race begins. One by one the green chariots fall apart and topple over, giving you a clear path. Only Spiridon's armored chariot remains of the green team, but as your blue allies move to block him, their chariots disintegrate as well. It seems both teams had the same idea. Still, you skillfully navigate through the wreckage and manage to hold off Spiridon long enough to win the race. Victory, but not thanks to Anaximandros. Gain prestige and gold. The chariot race is concluded. I don't think I've ever actually won that race before. He only became a charismatic negotiator. He became content too. I can pick an ambition. Don't necessarily want to see the realm prosper, because if things happen, then I would like to... Where's this guy's title? I need to keep an eye on that. I mean, charismatic negotiator's pretty good still, but I would have preferred a Grey Eminence. Might as well also make him designated regent. And the despot, which I think can only be, granted to close relatives, traditionally the oldest son. Okay. Young Alexandros loves doing things his own way and often takes it personally and gets angry when others offer opinions. I can make him become diligent. Or try to make him become diligent, and he did. My court physician Minash has suggested that I buy him some exotic herbs and other rare ingredients so that he can mix advanced draughts and poultices. Sure. Thrake prospers. Defensive pact has been disbanded against somebody. My court physician has let me know that the herbs I bought him were quite useful. He gains learning. I've inherited the Duchy of Ascalon. What is my weakest king? Despot Antony. Okay, so it's the one of Corsica and Sardinia. Was the Count of Ascalon the one that was the son of the previous one? Probably. And I will transfer the kid to him. And then give the Duchy of Ascalon back to the kid. I have an open council position, my steward. Okay. I'm waiting on him to die, that's right. Sure, I'll make the Strategos of Alexandria the, maybe not actually a good idea. If I can get a Despot of Georgia, maybe? No, I'm fine with that. Send them to Constantinople to collect taxes. We have increased council power faction that's getting kind of big. Spymaster's still there trying to dissuade the Strategos of Nicaea from being in factions. I'm going to increase my military tech, or my light infantry tech. And that's probably going to be the last bit of technology I increase in Constantinople, like ever. Because I want to start saving it up for Rome, where hopefully my brother will actually keep the advancements going while my capital's not there. We will take it back eventually, though. Okay. Okay, I thought I was thinking someone completely different there for a second. This guy's 48. Oh, that's something I do want to do, is invite to carousing if I can. Keep forgetting to do that. Invite everyone I can. He has the declined invitation modifier. Some said yes. I can imprison somebody. He's trying to kill Parthena the Unchaste. I have an open council position. That was actually the guy I was waiting to have die. So I'm going to change. Can I not change his council position? I guess I'll wait. I've become friends with the despot of Sardinia and Corsica. I've inherited the Duchy of Antioch. 30% chance of losing stressed. Okay. Really, I would have liked to have made yeah, he has an 8, he has a 3, an 8. Why can I not change council positions here? Quest divorce? No. I'm not sure. Actually. So let's appoint my son as my magistros. And then change council support. That switched it. And my son might hate me for it, but I don't really care. We'll make my friend the new ecclesiarch. Send the ecumenical patriarch to try to fabricate a claim on Venice still. And now we only need to buy a favor from one person to have him vote the way we want him to, and I just realized we can't change a law right now. 865, January. Another proposal. As you walk at a brisk pace through an empty corridor in the Imperial Palace, on your way to another tiring meeting with your advisors, you hear a faint whisper from one of the window curtains. After readying your dagger, you pull the curtains aside to reveal Anaximandros, the gnome man who recruited you into chariot racing. "You, I should have you drowned and quartered," you hiss at the man. "The entire blue team had their chariots fall from under them." Anaximandros smiles at you and speaks. "Calm yourself, Majesty. Your chariot held together, did it not? I have a new and cunning plan for the next race, one that cannot fail. Your epic victory will be celebrated for centuries to come. I may regret this, but I will join his scheme. Not interested, guards, haul this wretched creature away. We won once, let's take a gamble and see if we can do it again." Graciously accept. Good. I can request his council support whenever. Oh yeah, I inherited the Duchy of Antioch. Trebizond is now the weakest kingdom. So I'll transfer the county of Antioch and then grant him the Duchy of Antioch again. Marriage proposal? Sure, take her. I don't even know who she is. Training resumes. You resume your chariot training, and although you are an even better racer now, it still may not be enough to best the other competitors, many of whom have been driving chariots since early childhood. Anaximandros approaches to tell you of his new scheme. Behold, Majesty, he says, and produces a small bottle from within his cloak. One drop of this concoction with my associates, which my associates and I only acquired at great cost, I might add, is enough to send a man running for the latrines within minutes. Each member of the green team will be offered some spiced wine by their quartermaster, a man in our employ, just before the race is about to begin. I think you can see where I am going with this, Your Grace. Good, this might actually work. Gain intrigue. The day of the second race. Once again, you ride into the hippodrome in your chariot to the cheers of the people. It looks like nearly all of Constantinople has turned up for this momentous race. Spiridon, your old nemesis, is instructing the rest of the green team when their quartermaster offers them a sip of wine to fortify their resolve. All accept to this offer except Spiridon. Instead, he loudly proclaims he will offer his wine to the blue team who need it more. Before you can object, the other blue racers happily share the wine between them. The trumpets blare, and the race begins. Within seconds, the first few racers leap off their chariots, sprinting for the latrine. Soon, only you and Spiridon remain, and sadly for you, he proves to be the better chariot racer. He overtakes you in the final lap and rides his chariot to victory. After I talked to Bishop Vermondo and discovered we had next to nothing in common and that he was a horrible man, I wanted nothing to do with him. Don't... Okay? Apparently he's a horrible man. I can actually make a new king. Yeah. Let's make the Kingdom of Armenia. He wants that title, probably. Sure. I've inherited the Duchy of Calabria from Dukes Theodorus the Lewd. A traveling poet who calls himself a bard arrived today. Maybe he can help me with my poetry, and for a year we get Diplomacy +1 and Health +2. The Duchy of Calabria, which is this one. So I will give the county to the Kingdom of Armenia, or transfer the county to the Kingdom of Armenia. Unless he's at war with somebody. Nope, there he is. And then grant that kid the county, or the duchy. I think at one point I was able to form the I think I was able to form the Kingdom of Sicily as well. And she's actually a duchess. I'm going to... Okay, so the Brotherhood of the Holy Sepulchre will not fight Catholics because they're not actual heretics of our... They're not heretics of our religion, that's what it is. Yet. Someday they will be, but not yet. So... I think I want to do the de jure claim on Amalfi. Yeah. We'll raise the ships around our capital, and then leave. We'll only take our vassal ships from this area. Alright, somebody's doing stuff. Okay, let's take these guys over to Neapolis. Defending against Duke Hafiz of Bourbon in the Bourbon Holy War for Dauphine. We found an apostate who is obviously a warlock. Yes, he is. I don't even know who he is, but he's a warlock. Better safe than sorry, right? Let's do a du jour claim. We've captured one of the patricians. Ransom. I wish I could get more money than that out of him. But, in a couple weeks we will pretty much be able to take the castle. And then the bishopric. News from China. The people of the Yabgud Cognate probably never knew why the exalted emperor chose to attack. Regardless, they have suffered a crushing defeat, and Han armies are journeying home to celebrate, as their victory has finally been declared. The dragon is not to be toyed with. He wants to marry a courtier, okay. And that's done. And just like that, Amalfi's back under our control. This guy is a Greek Catholic. He'll get the County of Amalfi. And, well, just change his religion. He agrees. He's now Orthodox. The county itself was already Orthodox. And now I think I can form the Kingdom of Sicily. Again. I can. Bishop Veramondo was introduced by a mutual friend, and we talked for quite a while. We had our differences and a few arguments, then we found common safe ground, and I began enjoying myself. We become close friends. Why does he dislike me? I fired him from the council, that's what happened. It's not true, I didn't actually fire him. Try to invite people to carousing. Only be able to invite one, I guess. He's my friend. He is not a friend, but he's content. Content is automatic loyalism. Loyalty, whatever. 865 is whenever that is. When I can pass another law. He'll say no. Of course he will. One sunny afternoon, you enjoy a quiet moment away from your advisors under the shade of a tree in the palatial garden. The sound from above catches your attention, and as you look up, you spot Anaximandros, the chariot gnome, hiding on a branch. Your grace, he whispers with a smile, before I suffer your wrath, I ask that you hear me out. He scurries down from the tree and gives you his offer. Fate may have conspired against us in the past, Majesty, but this time my plan is foolproof. He flashes a toothless grin, the closest he can manage to a winning smile. Third time's the charm, eh, your majesty? What do you say? It had better be. I am in. And stuff. Our guys are back home. We can disband the fleets. The Chariot. Anaximandros brings you to a small workshop in one of the seedier districts of Constantinople. Here, he explains, they will weaponize your chariot. While you watch, the craftsman install a pair of extendable metal blades into its chassis, intended to shred the wheels of any chariot adjacent to yours. You train extensively with the new chariot until you have mastered its new weapons. As you are about to leave for the Hippodrome on the eve of the race, Anaximandros hands you a flanged mace. For good measure, he explains. Let us hope it does not come to that. Gain 1 marshal. This is it, the final race of the season. The Hippodrome is filled to capacity, and a deafening roar greets you as you ride your chariot into the arena. You line up next to Spiridon, your old foe from the Greens, and the crowd's favorite. Your Majesty, he says, and spits on the ground. The trumpets blow and the race begins, but it seems you weren't the only one to have brought arms. Everything turns into a huge melee as the drivers hack and slash at each other using both handheld and chariot-mounted weaponry. Anaximandros has played both sides against each other. There can be no other explanation. The situation escalates further when the agitated crowds enter the fray. You spot Anaximandros climbing into Spiridon's chariot, and the two of them escape the Hippodrome through the unguarded exit. I will give chase. Chase is on. You leave the madness of the Hippodrome behind and steer your chariot out into the streets of Constantinople in hot pursuit of Spiridon and the traitor Anaximandros. With blades unfolded, your chariot smashes through market stalls and pottery and narrow back alleys, while hissing Anaximandros tries to give you a taste of the whip, without success. You rush past the Hagia Sophia and onto the Augusteum Square, where as terrified priests scramble to get out of the way. With a sharp turn, you continue forward onto the Mesa, the main thoroughfare, and speed past ox carts and the Forum of Constantine before Spiridon abruptly turns north, towards the Golden Horn. He finally loses control of his chariot at the docks, and it crashes into some stacked crates. You step out of your chariot and draw your mace. Show mercy. Order is given. Spiridon has been impaled on a nearby fence, and his dead eyes glare at you accusingly. Anaximandros, however, lies wheezing on the docks with a broken leg. He curses your name as you approach him with your mace. Why do all this? You ask him. What could you possibly gain? The little man grins wryly at you. Eons ago, there were 4 chariot racing teams: the Blues, the Greens, the Whites, and the Reds. Then the 2 most powerful teams all but absorbed the 2 weakest. Who speaks of the Whites today, or the Reds? The domination of the Blues and Greens had to end. At any cost, if my nephew Spiridon and I could get them to wipe each other out. You have heard enough. Varangian guardsmen on horseback finally catch up with you, and are instructed to take Anaximandros away. I gained the trait Cavalry Leader, and a courtier named Anaximandros arrives at my court. So, about this guy who has arrived at my court. Sort by name, Alexandros. There he is. A quick, ugly dwarf, 57 years old. I'm going to request his excommunication. And then blind him. Your prisoner has been blinded and released. Another threat to your ambitions dealt with. And also, he's also got abdominal pain. And then, I'll order him to take the vows. send him a gift and invite him for carousing and see what happens. Oh, he said no? What do you know? How about that? Can I imprison him again? Hey, look at that. He fled. He's still in my realm, I think, isn't he? Oh no, he's Abkhazia. Okay. Let him cower in fear. He'll die soon. But, yeah, I don't know. I like that event. Or I like that event chain. But, back to the harsh reality. No rebellions over here yet. The Amarids are pretty much gone. The Sunni Caliphate only has like a very few number of counties left. But I think I might create another kingdom. Sicily, maybe? I wouldn't want... Wait a minute. Huh. Okay. I wouldn't want Amalfi to go with the Kingdom of Sicily. So... I can probably transfer it to somebody who is going to not be my vassal forever, or not be a duke forever anyway. So he'll get Amalfi, and I will create the Kingdom of Sicily and give it to her. Grant Kingdom of Sicily. And again, we have another kingdom that we can grant titles to and generally consolidate our power behind. Or through. Consolidate our power through. Because there's always the chance that they can rebel and then stuff goes badly and all that good stuff. No one accepted my invitation to carousing. One person makes no feast, and so I will have to postpone it. He declined. We can invite him now. Hey, he said yes. See, and that's one of the other reasons why I wanted to land somebody, is I wanted to have them... My wife has been beset by high fever for several days. We'll call for my court physician. But one of the reasons why I want semi-power or pretty powerful vassals is because I want them to declare war on their own. So, that is actually what I want them to do, like what she's doing. After being skillfully treated by court physician Minash of Ferrum, my wife Beatrice is feeling much better. Perhaps he's deserving of some praise. I will compensate him. As he's growing older, I can see that Alexandros could use some of my guidance in some of my experienced areas. It will require hard work and may not always be appreciated, but this is my chance to make a self-sacrifice. Yada yada yada. I can make him my rival, and he gets ambitious. Sure, I don't mind him being a rival, because I won't be around forever, and, it's fine. What's going on in Bulgaria? Oh, okay, he joined... He's allied with somebody. the Latin Holy War for Pisa. I think some of the threat that they accumulate goes to me, actually. Your guests have arrived. She must learn on her own. I don't even know who she is. Good food, good drinks and food, carousing, everything's fine, or was until despot Eusebius unexpectedly threw a fit of rage. Alright, well, if that's what he wants. %30 chance of losing stress? Nope. I can close the gates. Slow fever around my capital. Think shutting the gates might be a bad idea. Screw it. We'll try to save ourselves. Speaking of disease... Nope, I don't have enough money to really build anything right now. Almost, but not quite. But, overall I'd say it's going pretty well. Our vassals are declaring external wars. We are 48. This is still our, second character, isn't it? No, third character. First we were Count Gregorius of Rome, and then Constantinos. And then Basilius Petros. And this is still the first character we've played as who has been the Emperor, so hopefully there will be many, many more. He's a title claimant, okay. Upset by succession law change. People are probably going to be. He was fired from council. I don't know. We'll, we are going to continue to move on with managing our empire, trying to manage our threat, and with any luck, once the year 900 rolls around, I will be mending the Great Schism. And my son, okay, this guy still has no kids, and she's 43, so she only has a few more years to have children. It's looking pretty good, I'd say. She's 13. She's getting an intrigue education. I'm not sure if that's going to be a good thing or a bad thing, but I don't know. If things stay the way they are, our son could end up with a my grandson could end up just straight up inheriting the Kingdom of Lombardy, which would be really, really easy, or really easy on the, as opposed to the other option, which is declaring a massive war for the Kingdom of Lombardy that probably draws in the whole world, and if it doesn't, the next wars are very painful because we have to deal with pretty much 100% threat at that point. But that's long-term goals. My next character, i.e. my son, might be the one to, if he lives long enough, might be the one to mend the schism. So, all things to look forward to. I feel like I say that a lot. I need to stop.